These types of questions are quite easy to solve, but not everybody understands how this works. And I'm going to explain it to you now. So there are a few important things about figures that you have to understand, okay? So I'm going to try to be as clear as I can. So let's take a look at one of these figures, all right? So let's put it in a blank page. I'm going to copy one of these figures right now and make it a little bigger for you to have the comfort of seeing it a little bit better. And we're going to discuss what is important in such figures and what you have to understand while solving these questions. So this is called a figure, and figures can come in different shapes or forms. This, for example, is a bar chart. A bar chart is a chart or a figure where you see bars like this. You may get tables on the SAT, you may get bar charts horizontally. Do you understand? So different range of figures is available and has been available on the SAT throughout these years. What is important, however, is that the student understands how to analyze such figures. So let's take a look at how to analyze these types of figures. The first and the most important thing in such figures is the title of the figure. The title tells us what's going on in the figure or what we're going to see if we pay attention. The title is very important to read. So whenever you have a figure question, the number one thing you have to do is you have to look at the figure and read the title. The next thing that is important is, of course, the indications on the vertical axis and on the horizontal axis. Of course, this figure is trying to give us an idea. So what is it trying to convey? What is it trying to tell us? Well, on the vertical axis, you're going to understand what these numbers are showing. This number 200, 180, 160. It turns out that this is the total area of open water in hectares. Okay, perfect. I know that this 20, 40, 60 is the total area of open water. I don't have to understand where this is from, how it's been obtained. I don't need any extra information. All I need to do is direct information from the figure. The next thing that I'm going to analyze is the horizontal axis. So for example, what is this or what is this? What we see here is years, yeah? So what we see here is each of these bars represents a year, 1948, 1950, 1996, and 2001. At the same time, we see that there are two different categories, beavers absent and beavers absent. Well, it's one category, it turns out. Well, the next thing that we see, okay, is from this figure, the fact that it's ponds in group 2. There's ponds in group 1 in the figure that I didn't paste, and this figure tells me about ponds in group 2. Do I have to know what this is, what the ponds are, why they are in group 2? Not really. I do not have to know that. All I have to do is just pay attention at the keywords and analyze the figure very simply. So I know that this figure tells me about Elk Island National Park ponds not recolonized by beavers. Okay, not recolonized by beavers. What does it mean? That means beavers did not recolonize these ponds. Ponds are actually small sort of lakes, small collections of water. Okay, so these ponds haven't been recolonized by beavers, and we see that the total area of open water has been increasing over the years. And it has like maybe even an exponential increase. I don't know. So let's go back here, and now we see the question itself, and there is also another figure present. So what you have to do is you have to pause the video and analyze this figure as well. Okay, so read the title and read the labels and tell me what's the difference between two figures. Okay, I hope you have been able to pause the video and read the labels and the title, and I hope you understand the difference. The difference between two figures is that this figure number 1 tells me about ponds that were recolonized by beavers, and the second figure tells me about the ponds that have not been recolonized by beavers. And as we can see, when the ponds are recolonized by beavers, the beavers are present. Beavers are present. That means they exist there because beavers recolonized. That means came back to those ponds. There was an increase, and a very dramatic increase, in total area of open water. Okay, so this is your number one priority in such questions, to understand the figure and to analyze it very quickly. Of course, on the SAT, we don't have all the time in the world, so you have to be very, very fast, analyze the title, and understand what's the vertical axis about, understand the names and categories on the horizontal axis. And so this is going to help you to get familiarized with the figure, because you will have to be familiarized with it. If you don't know what the figure is about, you won't be able to solve these questions. Okay? Now, the next thing that we have to do is we have to read the passage. So pause the video and please try to read this passage. And then we will try to solve this question very easily and very fast. So what is important is actually this sentence. The reason is they have underlined a portion of that sentence and they want to change the smaller increase to something else. Take a look. What does it say? Furthermore, a group of ponds that had not been recolonized. Hey, the group of ponds that had not been recolonized. This is shown by figure number 2, right? By beavers, showed a smaller increase, or I don't know, a certain increase in area of open water over the same period. We're talking about the same period. Where do we see same period? We see same period in this figure. Yeah, 1948, 1950, 1996, and this one. You see? So what they're trying to do is they're trying to compare figure 1 and figure 2. Please tell me, what do you see? What's the difference between figure 1 and figure 2? In figure 2, there is not so much increase, but in figure 1, there's a huge increase compared to figure 2. So we're trying to analyze figure 2. There is not so much increase. So can we say smaller increase? Is there a smaller increase in figure 2 compared to figure 1? Yes, that's right. There is an increase, but it's much smaller than in figure 1. And therefore, the correct answer is no change. What we did is we tried to understand what they're asking about. We figured out that they're trying to just do a comparison between figure 1 and figure 2. And then we were able to analyze these two figures, compare them, and decide for ourselves that in figure 2, there's a smaller increase than in figure 1. So this is essentially all that you have to do to solve such questions. So I will repeat the steps again, and then we will jump into the next question, where we will see something different. Step number 1, analyze all the figures. Understand the title, understand the labels, understand categories, understand what's going on. Step number 2, read the passage and focus on the sentence where they're trying to change something. And step number 3, use the knowledge from the figure to change or keep the change in the sentence the way it has to be. To get better at SAT Mathematics or SAT's verbal section, register to my SAT video course where I explain literally every single topic in videos, and you will have an opportunity to practice with over 400 digital SAT practice problems. Just visit the link in the description and you will come to this page where you will learn everything that my SAT course offers. And if you want to buy the course and watch my videos where I explain everything, then you can press this button and contact me on WhatsApp. Thank you for watching.